everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Today I have a very special treat for you folks. Here to promote the Paul Lynde Christmas special, I have two very great interviews. One with Michael Airington and Bruce Villanch. You don't want to miss it. Let's get to the interview, shall we? And we have a very special guest today. It is character actor extraordinaire, Michael Airington.
And look at you looking so gorgeous and red and sparkly and holiday-like today, Jayme.
Oh my God, thank you. Now I have to say, I'm so excited about this project you guys have going on. It's gonna be on Amazon Prime, y'all can rent it. Let me get sure I get the title right because I'm a blonde, so I have a tendency to mess things up. Well, actually, you probably know better than I am. What's this thing called?
It's called Making the Yuletide Gay, a very special Paul Lynde Christmas. And if you remember who Paul Lynde was, you know, a lot of younger viewers don't know him until they hear the voice or they watch Bewitched.
Michael, I'm curious, what brought you to want to invoke the magic of Paul Lynde? What was the inspiration?
Well, because I started off as, I was one of the youngest stand-up comedians in the country, way back in the day. And I could do like of 150 voices. And Paul was just one of those incredible voices that everybody used and listened to. And I was obsessed as a kid with Bewitched and Uncle Arthur, which meant a lot of men of my age, of a certain age, you know, grew up with him and on the Hollywood squares. And it just was one of those fun impressions that people loved. And then who knew that in my life I would end up owning the rights to his estate?
Really?
Well, yeah, that's how we ended up getting the show. And then, you know, the show was at Bally's, the Paul Lynde show. Wayne Newton and I shared the stage there.
I was looking at this, it's a full cavalcade of stars, like an actual Paul Lynde special. Like looking at the attention to detail y'all have put into this, I am really impressed. It's so great to hear that you have the estate and everything. So it's truly full force, an actual Paul Lynde production. You know, it's basically an homage to those old 60s and 70s variety shows. And you're very young. You weren't born then. Oh, but I have secondhand knowledge, you know, so that's the thing. It's an homage to that era of when they would do these Christmas specials. All the big stars would do Christmas specials back then. And then they were all the same scenario. It would be in somebody's home and somebody would knock on the door and you never knew who was going to knock on the door. And of course, in this show, it's everybody shows up. You know, David Hernandez plays the late Sal Mineo. Spencer Day plays Tab Hunter. You know, David plays Liberace. Jackie Beat plays B. Arthur. When we were shooting it on the soundstage here in Hollywood, they had me next to Jackie Beat and Lady Bunny. The three of us were on our own floor. So it was an entire day of side-splitting insults, bitches being bitches, having so much fun. And to listen to Jackie Beat and Lady Bunny go at each other all day long was worth the price of admission for me. Honestly, to be a fly on the wall in that dog kennel, I can only imagine. Dog kennel with a bunch of bitches. Yes. I love those old holiday specials. And Paul Lynde was, like you said, one of those people that truly just brought it when it came to the variety show special. Like for those kids out there that don't know, there was Linda Carter, Raquel Welch, everyone has special. But Paul's hold a special place in queer hearts. The Halloween special with Kiss and Margaret Hamilton, the original Wicked Witch of the West. And you know what's so funny is because you know, a lot of the younger LGBTQ plus community, they don't know who Paul Lynde is. But I find out that I was on Disney for many years with the Sweet Life on Dex, you know, Sweet Life with Zach and Cody. They wanted Paul Lynde to have they wanted the voice of Paul Lynde for the magic mirror in the show. There was this mirror that would pop up with Brenda Song and Ashley. And that was me. London, wake up. I have a little bit of Paul Lynde trivia. I want to test your Paul Lynde if you don't mind. Gosh, you're going to do this to me. Okay, finish this Paul Lynde quote. Well, pretend we're on Hollywood squares. Now, Paul, why is it that the Hells Angels all wear leather? Oh, because chiffon wrinkles, so. Yes! Have you heard the one, Paul, why do butchers beat their meat? And he said, loneliness. Oh, no, I've got them all. And it was so funny. Peter Marshall, who was the original
master. They called him the master of the Hollywood Squares. He was the host. He came on board and did all the voices, and he also does all the intros and outros for the special. So we were pretty
Oh my
lucky to
God.
get him.
Is there anything you want people to know about this special that we don't know yet, or anything about Paul Lynde you want to share with the world that's really special to your heart?
I just think that one of the things that we talked about, and Bruce talked about it too, is like, because I own the rights to the estate and I can play him in perpetuity, you know, we realized Paul never came out officially of the closet. But all these men of a certain age back then, I call them the ambiguous queens of 60s TV. It was Paul Lynde, Charles Nelson Riley, I adore you. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
George First, all of them. And it's like, we got to let Paul do the Christmas special he never could. And there no questions unanswered, you know. And so to me, that was really, really important with the special. And to let the younger gay community, the younger kids, as I call them, kind of discover him and find out who Sal Mineo was, and Tab Hunter.
Yes.
You know, because they were closeted as well. And if if the kids would take the time to find out the history on that, you know, it's pretty cool. So that's why we had fun.
And thank you so much for sharing that with us, because honestly, I think it's so important, especially like to explain the history of those so-called confirmed bachelors of yesteryear and why they were that way. Like, there was a celluloid closet.
It was a different time and a place, and you couldn't come out. You know, it would destroy your career. Look, Rock Hudson, all of them. There were so many. And but you know what? Times have changed.
Thank you so much, Michael. And be sure and check out everyone in Making the Yuletide Gay, a Paul Lynde Christmas special. Yes. Thank you so much, sweetheart. All right, everybody, we have a very special guest here on the channel. Please give it up for the legend, the brilliant mind of Bruce Villanch.
Yo.
I know you've had your hand in many television specials, and what brought you to do another Paul Lynde special?
Well, you know, I did the Paul Lynde Halloween special in 1977, was it? We at the time, Paul had done a Christmas special. I mean, he was on Hollywood Squares, and Donnie worked with him on that and on Donnie and Marie. And he had done a kind of a Scrooge Christmas Carol-y kind of special, but he had a deal with ABC to do specials back then. And Halloween was a perfect fit because he was already a witch. He was Uncle Arthur on
Yes.
Bewitched. So anyway, so we did this show, and like all of those things, those zany ideas that were network variety specials came and went, and then they were rediscovered when the internet occurred.
Now, I know you worked close with Paul on his specials. Do you have a specific Paul Lynde story that sticks out in your memory that you'd like to share?
Many. Well, I have a couple that all happened the same day. We were shooting the show, and Kiss was on the show.
Yes.
Their first network appearance. And Paul had no idea who they were. Then we go back inside, and Kiss comes down to do their camera blocking, and they're already in full makeup. So he's kind of like, what's this? And Gene Simmons starts doing the song to him. And he comes over and does all the tongue stuff, you know. And Gene Simmons had a famously long tongue and lewd, lascivious. And as he's doing it, Paul turns to me and says, I want to meet him later. So I went to Gene and I said, Paul wants to meet you. And Gene said, it's the tongue, isn't it? It gets them every time.
Is there any special that sticks out in your mind that you think is the one I enjoyed the most working on?
Well, it's the Oscars, you know. I mean, it would be the Oscar shows that worked. You know, the Billy Crystal Oscar shows. I mean, the ones I got Emmys for. The Hugh Jackman Oscar show, the Steve Martin Oscar show. I mean, there were a whole one of Whoopi's. I mean, more than one, but that whole 25 of them, that run, those were all the most fun because it's like playing in the Super Bowl, you know. People, I mean, everybody at the time, everybody watched them. Now, of course, it's fragmented like everything else, but so it was great to be like the center of the universe. Billy would say, I'm the captain of show business.
And my final question is there anything you like to say about Paul Lynde that I always say he's such an important figure in pop culture, especially for queer culture? Like, what would you have to say about Paul Lynde for the folks here watching? What makes him meaningful to you?
Well, you have to remember the era. I mean, I think he was pre-coming out, basically. I mean, even though coming out, Stonewall was the beginning of visibility, I think. And the coming out didn't happen till years later, by which time I think he was already gone. But, yes, and it wouldn't have occurred to him. But, I mean, given the parameters of what he was allowed to do, he certainly was a dog whistle. I mean, to gay people. I mean, they got who he was. He connected with them because he skated the ice, the thinnest ice, without actually saying it. I mean, he did it. He left it to people like me to plunge in.
Well, Bruce, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I appreciate it, and honestly, I adore you. And I even brought this out I debated wearing it today, you know.
The bangs, there they are.
The iconic bob.
That, you just became Lonnie Anderson for a minute.
Oh gosh, my goodness. Lonnie Anderson, oh yeah, I could see it. KRP, Cincinnati.
The KRP period.
Oh, that hair, my goodness.
Yeah, amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bruce. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Enjoy it all. Have fun up there.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed these fabulous interviews. Be sure and check out Making the Yuletide Gay, a very special Paul Lynde Christmas, available on Amazon Prime. Yes! I enjoyed talking to both of these icons. I hope you did too. Now, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye!
Click here and watch my live stream where I style a wig for Trixie Mattel. Or see It's Just Jaymes, okay? Where I talk about Shanti's impact. Come on, click it, you know you want to. Click it now!